Heading into the weekend, these are your BYU-Idaho radio evening headlines for Friday, March 7th, 2025. I'm Chandler Guadagnine. Thanks for joining me. The man on trial for the murder of Norrie Jones will spend the rest of his life in prison. The judge sentenced 50-year-old Brad Scott Comfer of Pocatello to the life sentence Thursday afternoon at the Bannock County Courthouse. The Idaho State Journal reports Comfer was convicted last year in March for the murder of Norrie Jones in 2004. Comfer was arrested by Pocatello police in 2014 for brutally stabbing Jones 22 times in her sleep when he snuck into her home. Although Comfer's defense team made requests for Comfer to have the potential of being released due to his intellectual disabilities, it was determined that Comfer should be put in prison without parole. Unsealed documents in the murder case against Bryan Kohberger are shining new lights on what happened in November of 2022. According to EastIdahoNews.com, texts and a 911 transcript were released by the court on Thursday. In November 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in an off-campus home. 2 residents survived and were the ones who sent the text messages and called 911. One roommate texted the other roommate saying that she had seen an intruder wearing a black mask and texted her roommate saying, quote, "I'm not kidding, I am so freaked out." The other roommate said she was also scared and asked the first roommate to run down to their room. One of the roommates also texted Kaylee Gonzalez or Madison Mogan, one of the victims, asking them to respond. 2 hours after the texts were sent and they did not respond, the surviving roommates called 911 at around 11:59 a.m. The 911 transcript reveals how concerned and seemingly afraid the 2 surviving residents were as they spoke with the dispatcher. The unnamed callers believed their roommates to be unconscious, but later told the dispatcher that at least one person was not breathing. Near the end of the call, the dispatcher told responding units of a possible homicide. Bryan Kohberger's murder trial is scheduled to begin in June. The East Idaho Wolfpack football team is looking for new talent. Austin Pace has the story.
If you missed the Friday night lights and are itching to put the shoulder pads back on, the East Idaho Wolfpack football team may be exactly what you're looking for. The East Idaho Wolfpack is a full-contact 11-man football team in eastern Idaho. The Wolfpack plays competitively in the Mountain West Football League, playing teams from Montana, Idaho, and Utah. Matthew DeVesti is the general manager of the Wolfpack, and he says his vision for the team has been the same from the beginning, creating what he calls a home.
So a lot of people, whether it's after school, whether you're in your 30s, there's a desire to play, there's a desire to put the pads on, and I don't think a lot of people had a home or realized that they did, and so that's the biggest thing for us.
Xavier Zikos, a running back and slot receiver for the Wolfpack, has been playing with the team for about a year and has felt the exact same camaraderie DeVesti talked about.
I think it's just such a great outlet for us young men to come out here and play football, do something that we really love, that we have a real passion for, kind of get out there, run around, and have a good time, and once again have that camaraderie with your teammates and create lifelong relationships with the guys out here that you're fighting tooth and nail with.
This season's head coach, Chance Newsom, has a full-time job and a family to take care of at home, but takes time out of his life for the sport and team that he loves.
This is something outside of real life that I can come to that nothing else in the world matters at that moment but playing the sport and coaching the sport that we love.
The Wolfpack's season starts this month, and you can try out this weekend to be part of the team yourself.
The season starts about March, so we'll be going, I think we have open tryout March 8th, and we'll be going at Skyline High School in Idaho Falls at their practice field. We'll be doing an open tryout there.
If you're interested in playing with the Wolfpack, head to their open tryout tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Skyline High School in Idaho Falls to showcase your skills on the field. To learn more about the team, you can find them on Instagram and Facebook at East Idaho Wolfpack. For BYU-Idaho Radio, I'm Austin Pace.
Thank you, Austin. From one sport to another, BYU basketball season finale is tomorrow against their in-state rival Utah Utes. The 23rd ranked Cougars come in with a record of 22-8, while the unranked Utes are 16-14. ESPN gives the Cougars an 83% chance of winning the contest. BYU has the edge in points per game, points allowed, field goal percentage, and steals, while the Utes are statistically better in the rebounds, assists, and blocks categories. To pull the upset, the Utes will have to cool down the Cougars from the three-point line with a specific focus on Richie Saunders, who is shooting nearly 44% from three. They will also have to keep the Cougars off of the offensive glass. You can catch the action from the Marriott Center at 8 tomorrow night on ESPNU. BYU-Idaho Radio will also have reporters at the game, and we will have a recap for you on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. These have been your evening headlines for March 7th, 2025. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're available on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. Don't forget to turn those clocks forward tomorrow. I'm Chandler Guadagnine, and this is BYU-Idaho Radio.